Paris is, thank you. Hold on, I just lost. So hey, and here we're doing it. Hilchos pitching up in. If the father is not where the son is, Yochel Gamkin Duftoisim Mikoyen, Basher Usham. Meaning he doesn't necessarily need the child right there. Yesterday we learned that you put the child in front of the kohen, right? So, but here's the one where you don't have the child and you're near a kohen. There's I have a ben bechor to be paid. But kohen, I'm like my boss. What do you want more? Oh, beinian mashanoigan shah kohen mafser after estimate a pigeon kuloi a mixus laav. Right? What some places have the minig that they give the money back to the father, meaning the kohen gives the money back to the father because of a taz tam, meaning because what kind of matana? You got to buy the baby off the kohen. So what kind of matana is that? Misha writes a lasses a mitzvah kedebai and somebody wants to do the mitzvah properly. Yivchar like kohen ani bal Torah v'yira. He should pick for himself a kohen who's an ani, who is he has Torah and yira. And the father and the kohen should put in their head that they're not going back on this transaction, and he's not going to give back the money. Or he can give it to the kohen with a matana on the condition that he gives it back. That would also work. Okay. Zion. I'm sorry. A mother is not mechuyev to be do pidyon ben. If the father dies, then the bezdin takes care of it. Right? Ches. If a father, if it was a father for if the father was over and he wasn't pay the son, and or the father dies of bezdin loy saying the bezdin was not paid him. Then he himself is chayav to be paid himself when he gets old. And I'll pigeon bechor v'shechayanu. He makes shechayanu. Test. Okay, this comes up by the way with Bali Tshuva, that they realize that they never had a pidyon aben. So the SHAR program sometimes makes like a whole big group pidyon aben together. Fine. Kahan will be in Peturim pidyon aben. They're potter from pidyon aben. Right? Right? And not only that, because they're part of the kahuna, so they don't need a pidyon. But I feel Bas Kayin or Bas Levi, this is Yisrael, even if it's a Bas Kayin or a Bas Levi married to Yisrael, right? Still does not have there's no pidyon on that. Right? Now what's the reason? Because it has to be Peter Rechem. So it has to be, and it comes from the mother, right? The father could have multiple pidyon abens to do if he gets married to different women, right? So if it's the rechem of a kohen or a levi, so then it doesn't. So then it's not. It doesn't require a pidyon aben. So aben potter with pidyon. The son is potter with a pidyon. Fim bas kohen nivala la'akum. That's a bas kohen slept with a guy. She got pregnant from him. Or if she was stam once together with a guy and then she did tshuva and then she's together with a frum guy and they have a baby, a ben chayav a pigeon, then the son is chayav in a pigeon because she made herself into a chalala. When a bas kohen is in an illicit relationship, then she becomes a chalala. She's no longer a kohen, so therefore it would need a pigeon. But by sleeping with a guy, she is she became puzzle. And same thing in any other bias isser that she becomes a cholol. She's not a cholol if she's just together with just a regular yid. That doesn't make her into cholol. That's still legit. Yud Isha Shapila Barkach Yolda Bein Kayama. Let's say a woman who has a miscarriage, and after that she has a baby. Tzricha Lasa Shela, you gotta ask a Shaila, right? Because um, because depending on how advanced the baby is, that before the miscarriage, right? Then then meaning if the baby was, I mean, it's different. There's different more. Some places say after 40 days. That's if there was the pregnancy was terminated, but it was already 40 days, not terminated, whatever. It was a miscarriage, and already you don't make a bracha. Meaning they'll make you make a pigeon, they won't, but don't make the bracha. You can make shechiyanu, but you can't make the bracha on the pigeon. Others will say, no, you can go later than that. Okay, that needs a shiloh. Fine. Next, then we get a very interesting simon. Simon kuf samachet in chinuch ketanim uktsas dine melamed. Chinuch ketanim and some and the halachas of a melamed. Believe it or not, there are halachas that a melamed has to keep. Right? Uboy tesayin seifim. So kol aleph, kol av chayv l'chanav zisbonav ketana b'chol mitzvahs. Every father is chayav to be mechanech his kids with all mitzvahs. Bein mitzvah d'oraisa, bein mitzvah d'rabbanon, whether it's a mitzvah d'oraisa, whether it's d'rabbanon. Kol mitzvah lefi das hakotan v'ketana. Every mitzvah goes according to the knowledge and the understanding of the kotan and ketana. V'chein la'afrisham mikol tvar iser, and the same thing to separate them from doing an iser. Kama shomar hakosach hanoich l'nar al pi darko. And if you're not going to take mussar with words, you have to hit them. If the kids don't listen, then you hit them. Obviously, we don't do that nowadays. But don't hit them with like rough hittings, like achzorius, like shaitim. And anybody who's arum literally means undressed, but it means somebody who's smart. He does it, but you do it bedas, right? So, meaning you have to know, and that's why nowadays we don't hit anymore, because hitting doesn't really do anything. If anything, it works against you. How that, when that changed, I don't know, but you got to use your seichel. But we always and the biggest thing you got to make sure is that they don't say lies, which is very interesting because the entire world nowadays exists on lies. Right? You have to teach them to say the truth. If a kid lies, you gotta really take care of that. That they should stay away from making shvuas. And these words are on the avos and melamdim, meaning it's meaning it's both. Meaning a malamed also, even though you think, what does a malamed have to do? He's a hired hand, right? Okay, but that's what's required. We'll get more to malamed at the end of the simon. Fine, base hagos mas. And now, what is the age of chinuch? So hagos man chinuch lemitzvus asay to the mitzvah, meaning the age for mitzvus asay. According to this, for each tinuk, according to his chachma and his avon. Shabbos, somebody who knows the meaning of Shabbos, chayav l'shmaya kiddush v'havdalah v'chol k'yotze. He's chayav to hear kiddush and havdalah and anything similar. V'achinuch b'mitzvos loisasa, meaning basically once you understand. So like we always say, nowadays this age of chinuch is probably about 30, if that. That's for mitzvahs asay, like to shake lulav, etc. Chinuch b'mitzvahs loisasa, bein b'deraisa, bein b'derabanan, that's from when the kid can understand. When you tell him not to do it, that he stops doing it. Or you tell him you can't eat it. But if you tell a kid, a 2-year-old, not to eat ice cream because it's not Chol Yisrael, he can't listen. So then he's not chayiv to. You're not chayiv to stop him. You should teach Ketanim to answer Amen and other things. And once a child can answer Amen, he has a chelik olam haba. It's written l'chadcham sheyavdu b'beis hakneses be'ema v'yira, that they need to be in shul be'ema v'yira. Aval oisen shein rotzim b'shavim u'mevalvelin, those that are running around and are mevalvel, mutav shel, meaning the kids that run around and make noise, mutav shalei lavim, it's better that you shouldn't bring them to shul. Fine. Gimel. Even if somebody who's not the father, also you're not allowed to give him something to eat. That's awesome. Meaning, regular people, a father, a vada is not allowed to give. That's a separate isser, right? But even somebody else, you're not allowed to go give an isser to a katan. Right? Let's have or to command him to do an isser. Even that's something that's just the rabbanon, it's also to eat. Or to ask him to do. And if the tzinuk is a chayla a little bit, and he needs to eat treif, you can give it to him with a goy, something that's only us the rabbanon. So the most practical application of this is you have a light on in the room, and you put the kid in front of the light switch in order for her to shut it off. So to put the kid there and hold the kid there and move the hand, that's not allowed. But at any age. But if you just put the kid there and the kid doesn't know, then that would be then up to like 4, 5, age 4, 5, and they don't know what they're doing. You just put them in front of the switch. That's not called giving them an isser, and most places can say that is allowed. Okay, we'll stop over there. Everybody should have a fine night. Shape of Sudas